Hello everybody, welcome back to Checkered Flag Corner, and we are now officially on the Checkered Flag Corner YouTube channel. So, without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Now what I want to talk about is all of the silly season news and storylines that are going on throughout the offseason as of right now, January 16th of 2025. So let's start with the big one that came out just yesterday. After years and years of fan speculation as to when Junior Motorsports would go Cup racing, the time has finally arrived for Junior Motorsports to take that next step. Junior Motorsports, with Justin Allgaier and Travelers Whiskey, will be attempting to run the Daytona 500 this year. They will be trying to run and qualify as an open car, the number 40 Chevy Camaro. It's a good paint scheme. I haven't quite figured out how to put it on the screen here yet on YouTube, but I will be figuring that out at some point, at which point I'll probably just remake the entire video. It's great to finally see them take this next step. Of course, it is just a one-off race, but here's hoping that this opens some opportunities later on down the road. One that was announced today, Martin Truex Jr. will return to the NASCAR Cup Series in a one-off ride for Tricon Garage, attempting to make the Daytona 500 with Tricon's Cup debut in the number 56 Bass Pro Shops car. I believe it's a Toyota Camry, but don't quote me. Of course, Martin Truex Jr. entered full-time retirement last season following Phoenix, so it's always good to see a former Cup champion back in the seat, back in the saddle. Now, there's a few others I want to get to, but first and foremost, let's go over Mike Wallace. Now, Mike Wallace was going to attempt to run the Daytona 500 with MBM Motorsports, but unfortunately NASCAR has blocked that, saying that he is not eligible because he hasn't run any big speedway races since 2015, which now that would make that a decade. I do understand that, but at the same time, couldn't you just let him attempt to qualify instead of just shutting him down? I mean, it's not my place to say, but it feels a little wonky. Now, on the other hand, you have another big name in motorsports that's coming out to the Daytona 500, who is already automatically qualified. Project 91 started with Trackhouse just a few years ago and brought us the full-time NASCAR career of Shane Van Gisbergen from the V8 Supercar Series down in Australia and New Zealand. Well, Project 91 was originally started to bring outside motorsports drivers into NASCAR to give them a little taste of what NASCAR is about. And SVG is the poster child for this program, the big success story, winning the inaugural Chicago Street Race, the first street circuit in NASCAR history, and it's won by somebody that's not a full-time NASCAR driver. SVG would come over and run a full-time Xfinity Series season last year and got himself into the playoffs. Now he goes full-time Cup Series racing in the returning number 88 Chevrolet with WeatherTech sponsorship. But Project 91 returns for the Daytona 500 with Helio Castroneves, which is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what this Indy 500 winner can bring to the table at Daytona. It's going to be an interesting race for sure. Of course, Daytona is a 200-mile-an-hour chess match. You can make moves and plans all you want, but all it takes is for one driver to get sideways, and then everybody's day is screwed. And of course, the big one that's been brewing this week, Cody Ware, who lost his ride and sponsorship after accusations of domestic violence came against him last season, or it might have been the season before. It's been a long trial for him, but those accusations turned out to be false. So he is back and full-time in his car with Rick Ware Racing. Corey LaJoie lost his ride at Spire, and Corey LaJoie was the frontrunner for Cody Ware's ride. But now, with the news about Cody Ware returning full-time, where does that leave LaJoie? Now, there's speculation of Corey LaJoie possibly coming to the broadcast booth, which I wouldn't be objected to that. I wouldn't object to that. We've seen a lot of drivers over the years go from driving to commentary. Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Darrell Waltrip. We've seen Carl Edwards in the booth a couple of times. I think we've seen Carl Edwards in the booth a couple of times. I know Kurt Busch for sure, Tony Stewart. I mean, the list does go on. So it's interesting putting LaJoie's name in the conversation for commentary like that, but I could see it. Theoretically, I could see it. And something I don't think anybody saw coming, this came out just today. Matt DiBenedetto has a full-time ride in the NASCAR Xfinity Series running the number 99 car. I can't remember the name of the team right off. I'm thinking it's Viking Motorsports. If I'm wrong, please, somebody, for the love of all that's holy, correct me down in the comments, please. But now to address the elephant in the room, if you're seeing this, you've either come across this in your suggestions on YouTube, or you made it over from TikTok, you're one of the refugees. If you're from my TikTok following, welcome back. We still here. But if you're new here, this is Checker Flag Corner. I am the host. My name is Drew. And I talk about NASCAR, motorsports, sometimes pop culture. It just depends on what I'm feeling like, but it's mostly NASCAR. And here in just a couple of weeks, the Clash is coming up at Bowman Gray, the Madhouse. I cannot wait for that. Bowman Gray Stadium is where they tested the next-gen car primarily for the longest time. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran the next-gen car in a test session there. So it's interesting to see the original testing ground for the next-gen car be an official race on the calendar. Of course, non-points race being the Clash, but it's awesome to see Bowman Gray on a modern NASCAR calendar event. Bowman Gray is back. North Wilkesboro is back. Rockingham is back in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series, but it is back. Rockingham is back. Of course, later this year, we go to Mexico City. The first time a points race for NASCAR will be held outside. The first time a NASCAR Cup Series race will be held for points outside of the United States. It's going to be interesting. Mexico City. I can't wait for that. Of course, we've got the Chicago Street Circuit coming back up again this year. Circuit of the Americas is like the third or fourth race on the calendar. That's going to be interesting to see. But there is so much coming up in this 2025 season that I am genuinely excited for. This is a new beginning for Checkered Flag Corner. I thank you all for being here, whoever is out there watching. This is just my passion project, and I'm glad that I can continue this on another platform. But until next time, this is Checkered Flag Corner saying, we will see you in Victory Lane.